you kind of look at them like scoundrels. What won't you do for that damn career? Listen, this is a disgusting business. That's all I'm going to say. This business is so disgusting that I can't. I think that JayZ and Beyonce are master manipulators.
When Jay was going after B was a very young...
Each other, and you respect each other's music. You know, it's always that conversation, yo, we got to do something. You know that.
Right.
You know, the time filler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When that time filler turns into something real, then it's...
Picture that is becoming more and more clear is that we aren't just looking at a bunch of wealthy creeps operating with total impunity. We are looking at a massive criminal network that may be responsible for the rape and murder of hundreds of...
Allegedly, the song Daughter on Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album.
I love that one.
It's potentially a murder confession about JayZ's mistress, Kathie White.
They really thought they finished Wendy for good, like she was done and buried in the gossip graveyard. But nope, she just popped back up louder, messier, and way more fearless, and now she's coming straight for Beyonce's crown again. Word on the street is JayZ wasn't the only big name floating around those Epstein files. Beyonce's name is allegedly in there too, and people are saying the details are wild enough to make your jaw hit the floor. If Beyonce was already heated about Wendy talking years ago about that supposed fake pregnancy drama in 2011, then this new wave of accusations is on a whole different level. Folks are whispering about shady connections, powerful friends, and secret deals with controversial figures like Epstein and Diddy, and it's got the internet buzzing nonstop. For the past few days, JayZ and Beyonce have been getting dragged all over social media, and it doesn't look like the storm is calming down anytime soon. At first, most of the heat was on JayZ after reports claimed he was named in Epstein-related documents. An anonymous caller to an FBI hotline allegedly described waking up in a room with powerful men present, claiming she was harmed while unconscious as others watched, a story that shocked even people who thought they'd heard it already. She also named music figures she believed helped arrange the situation, which only made the allegations spread faster online. Some people said they weren't even surprised, claiming JayZ has long been connected to elite circles where dark rumors always seem to follow powerful people. But once his name started trending, the big question became, was Beyonce somehow involved too, or at least aware of what was happening behind the scenes?
Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Corey was JayZ girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So, Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Kathie White.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was about to ask.
JayZ's pregnant mistress,
yeah,
who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list.
Then things escalated when a newly released list of names tied to the files reportedly included her as well, sending investigators, bloggers, and fans into full detective mode. Suddenly, old rumors came roaring back, especially the mysterious story surrounding JayZ's former associate, Kathie White, who died while pregnant under circumstances that fueled years of speculation. Online sleuths started digging up interviews, timelines, and past statements, trying to connect dots that may or may not even belong on the same page. And that's where Wendy Williams enters the chat again, because she talked about this situation back when it first happened, long before most people were paying attention. Some conspiracy-leaning corners of the internet claim Kathie may have been connected to the couple in a very personal way, even suggesting she carried a child for them, a claim that has never been proven but refuses to disappear. Beyonce publicly announced her pregnancy with Blue Ivy at the time, yet rumors kept swirling that something about the timeline felt off to certain observers. Now those old theories are being recycled with fresh energy, especially after fans dissected lyrics from her later music, insisting certain lines sound like hidden confessions rather than just storytelling. Whether it's truth, coincidence, or pure internet imagination, one thing is clear: the drama isn't fading anytime soon, and people are watching every move like it's the final episode of a reality show nobody can stop watching.
Who the f was these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is f***ing you. And the boss's boss don't get no f***. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You could try to get a special prosecutor, but they'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the f*** you go when you get f***ed over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere, which is where people like me step in. You right, I go to Diddy parties to walk mother out, because ain't nobody stopping me when I come. You, Sean.
Now, here's where the plot really thickens, because Wendy had her eye on Beyonce long before any of these newer rumors exploded. Some people might have forgotten, but back in 2011, Beyonce had the whole internet losing its mind after that now infamous TV interview where her baby bump seemed to fold in on itself while she sat down. One second, it looked full and round. The next, it looked like it just crumpled. And viewers everywhere were replaying the clip like it was a magic trick they couldn't figure out. Social media went into detective mode overnight, with people zooming in, slowing footage down, and arguing non-stop about what they thought they saw. What made it even wilder was the response that came afterward. Instead of ignoring the chatter, her team reportedly pushed out photos of her in a bikini as proof the pregnancy was real. But critics were quick to point out those pictures didn't prove much of anything. Plenty of people said it just looked like normal body changes, not a clear baby bump. Some joked it looked like the aftermath of a heavy holiday meal, while others insisted the whole thing felt staged. Either way, the internet was not convinced, and the debate only got louder and louder. Enter Wendy Williams, who wasted zero time jumping straight into the fire the very next day on her show. She didn't tiptoe around the subject either. She went all in, openly questioning whether the pregnancy was genuine and calling out what she believed didn't add up. Wendy was known for saying what other hosts were too nervous to touch, and this moment was peak Wendy energy. While many celebrities and outlets stayed silent, she basically said what a lot of viewers were already whispering behind closed doors.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate your AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle a bitch like me. You can't even control that goofy bitch. You should have did a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Kathie. Because you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her. Wonder why?
But Wendy didn't stop at just the interview clip. She went even further by bringing up the name Kathie White, which at the time was extremely risky territory. Back then, mainstream media wasn't touching that story at all, and most casual fans had never even heard the name. It was one of those hush-hush topics floating around blogs and message boards, the kind of thing you only knew about if you were deep in celebrity gossip rabbit holes. Mentioning it on national television felt like pulling back a curtain nobody else dared to touch. That's why the moment stuck in people's memories for so long. Wendy wasn't just repeating rumors, she was connecting dots that others were pretending not to see, at least publicly. For viewers who already suspected something was off, her comments felt like validation. For loyal fans, it felt like an outrageous attack on a global superstar. Either way, the controversy exploded and kept people talking for months, proving, once again, that when Wendy decides to speak, she doesn't whisper, she detonates the whole conversation. And even years later, that single interview moment still gets dragged back into the spotlight whenever old questions resurface, showing just how powerful one viral clip can be when the world is already watching closely.
His pregnancy is a way of keeping JayZ's alleged mistress away. Beyonce is going to use a surrogate so she can maintain her body, but they're going to play it off like it's allegedly, like they gave birth.
And Wendy also raised eyebrows when she mentioned that only a tiny number of people were supposedly in the room during the birth, because later reports made the situation sound just as secretive. Stories circulated that Beyonce paid an enormous amount of money, reportedly over $1.3 million, to secure extreme privacy at the hospital while giving birth to Blue Ivy. The claim was that large sections of the floor were cleared out to limit access, which immediately got people talking. Supporters said it made sense for a global superstar worried about safety and paparazzi. But critics couldn't stop asking why that level of lockdown was necessary in the first place. Hospitals and officials denied that anything improper happened, explaining that security measures were taken due to her celebrity status, not because of anything suspicious. Still, rumors spread like wildfire online, with people speculating about hidden motives and secret arrangements. When a story involves huge money, tight security, and very little public information, the internet tends to fill in the blanks, sometimes wildly. That's exactly what happened here, turning a private medical event into a years-long conspiracy debate that refuses to die down. Another controversial story that resurfaced involves JayZ's former associate, Larry Johnson, who once claimed he saw Beyonce at a party that made him uncomfortable. Larry and JayZ were reportedly close in earlier years, but their relationship later collapsed under unclear circumstances, which only fueled speculation.
Now, I did a Rockaware photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the wintertime of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there, and he rented this house. And we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play. And after the game, it had to have been like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults, which I can respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking, loud music, and us dancing wild. Like, I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy? Or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me. So when I hear something like this happens, I can't really discount it and say, oh, he could never do this. Because I'm hearing stories, I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I've been in situations where something don't sound or look right, and it's usually involving.
After the fallout, Larry began speaking publicly about his views on power structures in the entertainment industry, positioning himself as someone who had seen too much behind the curtain. Not everyone believed him, but his statements definitely grabbed attention. He described attending a late-night gathering in Colorado in the early 2000s that he said was hosted by the Carters, claiming the vibe felt strange and exclusive. According to his account, some attendees looked very young, though no official reports ever confirmed wrongdoing, and the claims remain unverified. He also alleged that Beyonce made a comment that struck him as odd at the time, something he later interpreted as unsettling. Critics point out that memories from decades ago can be unreliable, while supporters argue insiders often stay quiet until relationships break down. What makes stories like this explode is the mix of personal testimony, broken friendships, and the mystery surrounding elite celebrity circles. Without hard evidence, people are left arguing over credibility. Was this a whistleblower moment or just bitterness after a fallout? Either way, once claims like these hit the internet, they take on their own life, getting reposted, remixed, and dramatized, until separating fact from rumor becomes almost impossible. And because Beyonce and JayZ are two of the most powerful figures in music, any shadow of controversy attached to their names instantly becomes headline fuel no matter how old the story is.
Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does JayZ sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
And let's not forget Jaguar Wright's explosive appearance on Piers Morgan's show, the one that had everybody clutching their phones and refreshing for updates because it almost landed her in serious legal trouble with JayZ and Beyonce. She didn't hold back for a single second, sitting there on live television making jaw-dropping claims about powerful figures in the music industry. The interview went viral almost instantly, with clips spreading everywhere as people argued over whether she was exposing hidden truths or going way too far without proof. One of the most shocking moments came when she brought up Aaliyah's tragic death, suggesting that there were unanswered questions surrounding what really happened. Now, to be clear, official investigations concluded the 2011 plane crash in the Bahamas was caused by an overloaded aircraft and pilot error, a heartbreaking accident that took multiple lives. But Jaguar implied there could be deeper industry politics at play, a claim that sparked massive backlash because of how sensitive and painful the topic still is for fans and family alike. Social media lit up with debates, fact checks, and heated arguments within minutes. Supporters of Jaguar said she was brave for speaking out against powerful people, arguing that the entertainment world protects its biggest stars at all costs. Critics, on the other hand, accused her of spreading dangerous speculation without evidence, especially about a tragedy that has already been thoroughly investigated. Legal experts even chimed in online, warning that making serious allegations about real people on international television could open the door to defamation issues. That's when people started saying she might have pushed things too far this time. What made the situation even more intense was how calm she appeared while delivering such heavy claims, as if she fully expected the fallout that would follow.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about.
Piers Morgan pressed her for clarification during the interview, clearly aware of how explosive the statements were, but she doubled down instead of backing off. Viewers could practically feel the tension through the screen, knowing millions were watching in real time as the conversation edged into dangerous territory. After the episode aired, headlines and reaction videos flooded the internet, dissecting every word she said and trying to predict whether legal action would follow. Some commentators noted that public figures often face rumors simply because of their status, but others insisted accusations that serious should require undeniable proof. Meanwhile, fans of Beyonce and JayZ rallied online, defending them and condemning what they saw as reckless attacks designed to generate attention. In the end, the interview became one of those pop culture flashpoints that people reference whenever conversations about industry secrets pop up again. Whether viewers saw it as whistleblowing or wild speculation depended entirely on who you asked, but one thing was undeniable: it kept their names dominating headlines and timelines for days. Moments like that show just how quickly one televised conversation can ignite a global firestorm, especially when it touches on beloved icons, painful history, and the mysterious inner workings of fame itself.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put him out. but he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know,
Right.
JayZ and Beyonce being, you know, two of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to.
Right.
Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop, whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was.
And while we're on the subject of Aaliyah, there's been years of speculation floating around online claiming her tragic death somehow cleared the path for Beyonce's rise, a theory that has never been proven but refuses to disappear. Aaliyah was already a global star with a unique sound, movie roles, and a massive fan base. So when she died suddenly in 2001, the shock left a void in the industry that nobody knew how to process. Conspiracy-minded corners of the internet later started connecting dots that may not even belong together, suggesting her loss conveniently opened space for other artists to dominate, especially as Destiny's Child transitioned into Beyoncé's solo era. Some rumors went even further, claiming Beyonce may have felt threatened because JayZ had reportedly shown interest in Aaliyah before becoming involved with her. Former Rockefeller co-founder Damon Dash publicly stated that JayZ pursued Aaliyah romantically after her split with R. Kelly, sending gifts and invitations that she allegedly declined. According to Dame, there was tension between powerful men in the industry competing for her attention, though Aaliyah herself stayed focused on her career and kept her private life extremely guarded. Fans later spun this into a jealousy narrative, even though there's no solid evidence supporting that interpretation. The circumstances surrounding Aaliyah's plane crash added fuel to the speculation fire because of how sudden and preventable the tragedy appeared. Official reports found the aircraft was overloaded with luggage and that the pilot was not properly certified to fly that plane, creating a deadly combination of errors. Some witnesses later claimed she was reluctant to board the flight, but accounts vary and investigators concluded the crash was an accident, not foul play. Still, whenever details are confusing or incomplete, rumor mills tend to fill the silence with dramatic theories.
Also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before. So like a catch and
correct.
Wow. Can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
the
I can't explain who the person was, but
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video. And I can tell the video is pornographic in nature.
Oh my, all right.
Damon Dash also shared stories about JayZ's interest in Aaliyah during interviews, describing it as persistent but unsuccessful, which only intensified fan curiosity years later. People began weaving narratives about rivalry, rejection, and power struggles, even though those claims rely heavily on secondhand accounts rather than documented facts. It shows how quickly real events can morph into legend once enough time passes and emotions remain raw. Then there are the more extreme rumors that surface in certain online spaces, alleging secret elite gatherings and ritual-like behavior among powerful figures in entertainment, claims that have circulated for decades about many celebrities, not just Beyonce and JayZ. These stories often explode after interviews or podcasts where guests hint at mysterious parties without providing verifiable details. For example, a former associate once described being invited to an exclusive gathering at a music mogul's home, portraying it as strange and highly secretive, which listeners immediately interpreted in the most dramatic ways possible. But without concrete evidence, these accounts remain allegations and personal interpretations rather than established facts. What's undeniable is that mystery, tragedy, and superstardom create a powerful mix that keeps people talking long after the headlines fade. Aaliyah's legacy remains deeply loved, Beyonce's success remains undeniable, and the internet continues to blur the line between tribute, curiosity, and sensational storytelling whenever their names appear in the same conversation.
So we know that he videotaped a lot of activities at his home, Diddy. And it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at
Okay.
a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped.
Now, here's where things got extra messy for Beyonce, because right after those party rumors started circulating, a well-known attorney, Ariel Mitchell, jumped into the conversation with an interview that sent social media into absolute chaos. She revealed that someone had allegedly contacted her about a tape showing Diddy and another extremely famous celebrity at what she described as a freak-off type gathering. And just like that, the internet went into full detective mode. She didn't drop any names, didn't confirm identities, and didn't even say the footage was authentic. But that didn't stop people from speculating like crazy. According to Ariel, the person who reached out was supposedly looking for legal guidance about selling the tape, which immediately raised 1,000 red flags. Questions started flying everywhere. Was it real? Was it a setup? Was it even legal to sell something like that? She kept her comments careful and professional, making it clear she was speaking in general terms, not accusing any specific person. But once the idea of secret celebrity footage entered the chat, there was no putting that genie back in the bottle. What really poured gasoline on the situation was the timing. Her interview dropped right after DeRay Davis, often misheard as Deba online, talked with Shannon Sharpe about strange experiences at high-profile parties. So viewers instantly started connecting dots.
What he is a broke-down Mandingo fighter still working on behalf of the NFL. He did that interview with the baby person who sat there and told him about when he met Beyonce. Y'all remember that? That happened on Shay Shay. And he talked about how he was at the Diddy party at Diddy's house.
Even though neither person actually confirmed any link between their stories. Social media basically built its own narrative overnight, with people guessing which very famous celeb could be involved and dragging Beyonce's name into the conversation without direct evidence. It was a classic case of speculation outrunning facts at lightning speed. Legal commentators quickly stepped in to remind everyone that vague statements plus viral assumptions can be a dangerous combo. Without names, dates, or proof, the story remained nothing more than an allegation about an alleged tape that may or may not even exist. Still, the mystery made it irresistible to gossip channels and forums, because nothing spreads faster than the idea of secret recordings involving powerful figures and names big enough to dominate every timeline instantly. So while the claims created a storm of chatter and headlines, there's still no confirmed public evidence tying Beyonce to any such tape or event. But in celebrity culture, sometimes the suggestion alone can keep a story alive for years, especially when it involves secrecy, power, and names big enough to dominate every timeline instantly.
And how, after, the festivities were winding down and it was getting later into the middle of the night, approaching 3 a.m., Diddy got rid of almost everybody, but he let the baby stay behind with him and his close friends. And then he talked about how Beyonce was there and JayZ was there. Not at their house, at Diddy's house.
But check this out. Word online is that Beyonce has supposedly been making quiet moves behind the scenes ever since those Epstein-related headlines started trending, and the gossip world is eating it up. A so-called insider dropped a blind item claiming people close to her are worried she might step back from the spotlight entirely, and the details had rumor pages going into overdrive. Now, blind items are basically anonymous tips with zero confirmation, but that never stops them from spreading like wildfire when a superstar's name is attached. According to this alleged source, industry chatter has suggested for a while that she's been under intense pressure for years. Constant touring, business demands, public scrutiny, and the expectation to stay flawless at all times. The claim paints a picture of someone exhausted by the machine of fame, hinting she might want more privacy and control over her own life. Supporters say that wouldn't be shocking at all, considering she's been working non-stop since her teens and carries an empire on her shoulders. The blind item also suggested her inner circle worries she could pull away suddenly, not out of scandal, but out of burnout and the desire to protect her peace. Some fans interpreted that as a sign she might focus more on family, creative projects, or even life outside the US, which celebrities often do when they want distance from paparazzi culture. Others, of course, spun it into dramatic escape theories because the internet always chooses the loudest version of any story. It also touched on long-standing narratives about control in the entertainment industry, managers, contracts, branding obligations, though none of those claims were backed by evidence specific to her situation. In reality, most megastars operate with huge teams, simply because their careers are massive operations, not because they're being controlled in some sinister way.
The reason why they have or they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because JayZ is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that JayZ can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it and he knows it too. As far as who's gonna be the breakout victim / story, I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out, and JayZ is exposed for his nefarious past, you're going to see Beyonce divorce him.
Still, the idea of a global icon wanting to reclaim independence makes for irresistible drama online. Another part of the rumor mill focused on family dynamics and marriage speculation, suggesting tension behind the scenes, something tabloids have claimed about celebrity couples forever, especially ones as powerful as Beyonce and JayZ. However, the pair have repeatedly presented a united front publicly, collaborating on music, touring together, and raising their children largely out of the spotlight. Without confirmed statements, everything else remains guesswork dressed up as insider knowledge. The chatter intensified when YouTuber Storm Monroe previously speculated that if major controversies ever erupted, Beyonce might distance herself professionally or personally to protect her brand. That idea spread quickly because it fits a familiar narrative, the strategic superstar who always stays 10 steps ahead. But again, speculation is not confirmation, and predicting someone's private decisions is basically impossible from the outside. At the end of the day, blind items thrive on mystery, not proof, which is why they can sound explosive while revealing almost nothing concrete. What's clear is that Beyonce remains one of the most influential figures in entertainment, and any hint of change in her behavior instantly becomes headline material. Whether she's planning a quiet reset, a new era, or simply enjoying life away from constant cameras, the world will keep watching closely, because when someone that iconic makes even the smallest move, it echoes everywhere.
Okay, and she may or may not do an interview, but their publicist is gonna release something. She's gonna say, "Oh, the Carters have been separated for some time. They built this beautiful life, blah 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 blah." Now, before all this happens, we may get another tour. We may get another album out of both of them. I don't know, because at the end of the day, they about their money first. They're gonna do what's best for business first. As far as Beyonce is concerned, do she love him? I mean, he's really all that she knows.
And I'm sure you've probably seen those wild allegations floating around online from supposed former employees claiming Beyonce holds some kind of secret, powerful position behind the scenes. The kind of rumors that sound straight out of a movie. These stories pop up every few years, usually on blogs, forums, or anonymous videos, insisting she's part of an elite inner circle with influence far beyond music. None of these claims have ever been proven, but that hasn't stopped them from spreading like urban legends in the digital age. Some of the more extreme versions say she's a high-ranking priestess in mysterious groups that allegedly control fame and fortune, which honestly says more about internet imagination than reality. Fans quickly push back, pointing out that superstardom alone can make someone seem almost untouchable, so people start inventing supernatural explanations for success. When an artist dominates charts, headlines, fashion, film, and business all at once, it can feel larger than life, but that doesn't mean there's anything mystical going on. Other claims twist normal workplace experiences into something sinister, with anonymous sources describing strict confidentiality rules, intense schedules, or high expectations as if they're evidence of secret power plays. In truth, most A-list entertainers run their teams like major corporations, with NDAs, security protocols, and tight control over information simply to prevent leaks and protect privacy. What sounds ominous in a rumor often turns out to be standard practice in high-profile industries. The idea that she has the power to end people is another phrase that gets thrown around dramatically, but in reality, it usually refers to career influence, not anything literal. Major stars can shape trends, boost collaborators, or overshadow competitors just by existing at the top of the game, which can feel intimidating to those on the outside. Music history is full of artists whose dominance made others fade from the spotlight without any conspiracy involved. Psychologists even note that people tend to mythologize extremely famous figures, turning them into symbols of power rather than ordinary humans with extraordinary careers. Beyoncé's carefully controlled public image, polished, private, and rarely chaotic, adds to that aura, making her seem almost untouchable compared to celebrities who overshare daily. The less people know about someone's real life, the easier it is for fantasies to fill the gaps. Former staff who speak publicly often have mixed experiences, just like in any workplace, but anonymous claims without evidence are impossible to verify. Meanwhile, many dancers, musicians, and collaborators who worked with her openly praise her professionalism, work ethic, and generosity, which rarely gets the same viral attention as sensational accusations. Positive stories simply don't travel as fast as shocking ones. At the end of the day, these rumors say more about celebrity culture than about Beyoncé herself. When someone reaches that level of fame, ordinary explanations stop feeling exciting enough. So the internet invents secret societies, hidden powers, and dramatic backstories to match the scale of the stardom. But behind the mythology is still a performer who built a career through talent, strategy, and relentless work, even if the legend surrounding her sometimes grows louder than the facts.
And trust, people keep saying Wendy had receipts for days. Not just gossip, but real insider tips going all the way back to her radio era. Long before daytime TV, she built a reputation as the host who always knew what was happening behind closed doors, because sources inside the industry allegedly fed her information nonstop. That reputation is exactly why some fans believe she was aware of major scandals long before they became public, including controversies surrounding powerful figures like Diddy, JayZ, and others. Of course, having sources doesn't automatically mean every claim is true, but it definitely added to her image as someone who wasn't afraid to say what others wouldn't. Supporters argue that Wendy often hinted at stories years before mainstream outlets touched them, which made her seem almost prophetic when certain headlines finally broke later on. Critics, however, say she blurred the line between reporting and speculation, sometimes repeating rumors that couldn't be verified. Either way, she dominated the gossip world for decades because she delivered drama with confidence, and audiences couldn't look away. Some conspiracy-leaning fans even suggest she stayed quiet about certain topics out of fear, claiming the entertainment industry has ways of shutting people down if they become too outspoken. There's no concrete evidence of that, but the idea persists because power, money, and secrecy make for a compelling narrative. When someone as bold as Wendy suddenly stepped back from the spotlight due to health issues, it only fueled speculation among people already suspicious of the industry.
This has been going on since 2006, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. And for a very long time, I put this person on a pedestal. I loved them. I'd send emails, publicly, happy birthday and all this stuff. And the entire time, this person was casting spells and manipulating me and controlling my job situations, my relationships, just all kinds of.
In reality, her family and medical professionals have publicly addressed her health challenges, emphasizing that her condition is serious and deserves compassion rather than rumor spinning. Still, online chatter has tried to reinterpret everything through a dramatic lens, with some claiming she was misrepresented or targeted, claims that remain unproven and widely disputed. It shows how quickly concern can morph into conspiracy once the internet gets involved. Meanwhile, public opinion about Beyonce and JayZ has always been divided whenever controversy surfaces. Some commenters online insist she must have known everything happening around her husband, while others argue that guilt by association isn't fair without evidence. Social media tends to amplify the harshest takes, so extreme opinions often look louder than they really are. You'll see posts ranging from full defense of the couple to outright condemnation, with very little middle ground. That polarization is typical whenever mega celebrities are involved, because people project their own feelings about fame, wealth, and power onto them. Without verified facts, debates turn into echo chambers where everyone feels certain they're right. As for Wendy exposing Beyonce, whether you see it as truth-telling or sensationalism depends entirely on how much credibility you give to her sources and style. What's undeniable is that she shaped celebrity commentary for an entire generation and left a mark that still influences gossip culture today. And now the conversation keeps evolving, with fans, critics, and curious onlookers all trying to piece together their own version of what's real versus what's just noise. So what do you think? Fearless whistleblower or queen of controversy? People are still arguing, still digging, and still watching every development like it's the next episode in a never-ending drama series.